like a torture test. Stitching leather is typically where every beginner stumbles and puts a lot of people off doing leathercraft. The quality of saddle stitching is typically measured by how angled those stitches are, which starts with pricking your holes. Now, I've done an entire video on exactly how to prick holes, so go and check that. It'll be linked up there. It'll be in the cards, it'll be down in the description, so go check that out, but make sure you watch this video first, obviously. So let me show you exactly how to get the perfect saddle stitch every single time with these 3 steps. Hey friends, it's Will and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. In this video, I'm going to teach you exactly how to get the perfect saddle stitch every single time with these 3 steps: back stitching, forward stitching, and casting. Let's get straight into it. Back stitching, it's called this because you're going back away from the line of stitches, so it might be back against you and it might be back towards the line, but technically towards you, and not because you're stitching backwards. So that's the first misconception I want to treat today, because back stitching is not stitching backwards, and if you do it backwards you'll do it wrong and it won't go very well. So back stitching is back stitching because you're stitching backwards against the line of stitches. So before you start normal stitching, the normal direction of your stitches, which is typically done towards you, so before you start normal stitching, so normally we do either 1.5 or 2.5 back stitches, which means that you see either 1 or 2 full double stitches at both ends of your stitching line. The reason for this is because you want to pull your tail, so the extra length of thread that you've got, to the back side of your stitching project. Now this is because when you look at the front side, so typically the side that your logo is on, you don't want to see the tail of the leather, this tail of the stitches sticking through. So we pull that through to the back and we snip it off. And it's just in case you catch a glimpse of that thread after we've cut it off. You either want to melt it if it's a polyester thread, or tuck it back in with a bit of glue if it's a linen thread. But if that was to poke out slightly, you don't want to see that on your front of your piece, if that makes sense. So you pull that through to the back, snip it off and glue it. And this is why it's either 1.5 or 2.5, because you're pulling it through to the back. It won't be 2 full back stitches on the back, it'll be either 2 or 3 full back stitches on the front. If you're enjoying the content I'm doing, don't forget to smash the subscribe button. It makes so much difference to the channel, and I cannot keep making these videos if you guys don't subscribe. I know you're loving it because I can see in the analytics that you are absolutely loving the channel. So if you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and we can carry on with the video. So at the end of your stitching run, when you're doing your back stitches, but also at the beginning of your stitching run when you did your back stitches and now you're stitching forwards, you want to line up your stitches so that they sit parallel to your the 2 stitches that are already in the holes. Now how do you do this? You want to take your awl or your needle. It's fine either way, because an awl is really just a needle with a handle on it, and you want to put that on top or underneath, depending on which one is going to be easier. If your thread is coming out of the hole on top of the previous stitch, you want to put it on top, and if your thread is coming out of the hole underneath the previous stitch, put it underneath. But you'll see that as you're doing it. When you rest your needle on top or underneath, you want to use that needle or that awl, guide the thread over the top of it so that it lines up parallel to the previous stitch. I hope that makes sense. And that is literally all back stitching is. You want to, when you cut it off, you want to get about 8 mil, maybe 5 mil of extra thread. So you don't want to cut it off right next to the leather, otherwise it will come back through. So you want to cut off about between, let's say, 1 centimeter. you want to put either some glue in the hole if it's a linen thread, or you want to melt it back down and then either snip it off if it's linen, or again melt it back down if it's a polyester thread. If you try and melt linen thread, it will burn, it won't melt, because linen doesn't melt, it burns, it's natural. Now, with your forward stitching, once you've lined up your stitches over your previous stitches in that hole, it is time to stitch normally. I see a lot of people making two mistakes. One, they're pulling far too tight and pulling that thread really deep into the leather, and they're putting a different amount of tension on each time. Or they are not doing what I'm about to tell you. They're not putting an angle on those threads. When you're pulling your threads on each stitch, you want to put an angle to it. In order for you to get that really pretty angle that we're all striving for, you need to pull your threads out, one up, one down. So if you're right-handed, which I am, you pull your right hand down and your left hand up. If you're left-handed, it will probably be the other way, but I'm not left-handed, so I won't be able to teach you that. But if you're right-handed, you want to pull up and down. And this means that when you're pulling the threads through the hole, you're helping guide them to that angle. That's all you're doing. You're helping guide the thread through the hole so that it sits really beautifully within that angled stitching hole. There's no point using a angled stitching hole if you're just going to pull and have a flat stitch. And always try your hardest to put the same amount of tension. You don't need to really wrench on that thing. You can just pull it to the point where it compresses the leather very slightly, and then relax. The leather will bounce back slightly, the thread will relax slightly, but you're not trying to wrench on that thing. You're trying to pull it to the point where it's tight, where it's snug, but not tight. However, and there's a big caveat, if you're making something where you're punching your stitches before you glue your pieces together, so you have two pieces of leather, you're punching your stitches and then you're gluing it together like this, so they're front side stitching, punching your stitches and then gluing them together, you will be left with an X. Unless you're using reverse irons, which I assume none of you are, you will have your sew, and I'll come onto it in a second, I'll come onto casting in a moment. If you were to pull your threads at an angle when you have that X, because you're just stitching through a little hole in the middle, you will have a flat stitch, because you're just stitching through the hole if you're trying to pull at an angle. I don't know the mechanics and the physics of this. I'm not a mechanist or physicist, but I do know if you are doing that, and if you are punching them separately and then bringing them together, you want to pull out your threads exactly level. And finally, we're going to get on to casting. The biggest thing I get asked about, is there a point to it? What is casting? Casting is literally tying a knot in the hole. If that's the only thing you take away from this video, casting is tying a knot in your stitching hole. When your needles are only just poking out the holes, and this is for right-handed stitches, not left-handed stitches, you are passing the long end over the needle on your left hand. You're passing the long end over the needle and then pulling the needle through it. So you're tying a knot in that hole. Now there's two reasons that people give for this. Either they're saying it's because it's stronger. Now, I personally don't know the answer to this, because I've never done like a torture test of a casted versus uncasted stitch. So I don't know. What I do know is that if you cast, so there's positives and negatives. If you cast, you get an angle on both sides if the leather's firm enough. If the leather's too soft, the knot won't sit nicely within that hole, and you'll get a flat stitch on both sides. And if that is the case, you want to use a bonded leather or a velodon between the two layers of the soft leather to give it some structure. The other reason is because if you don't cast and you just pull your angled stitches, you will only get an angle on the front. You'll get a flat stitch, it'll be a straight line on the back. Because when you put a cast in, when you put that knot in, it helps the backside go up into that angle. If you don't cast, you get an angle on the front, but you don't get an angle on the back. So the way I like to look at it is, if I'm stitching something which I can see the back side of that stitching run. So if it's a card holder, for instance, because that's an easy example to give you, if it's a card holder, and you can obviously see the back of a card holder, I will always cast it, because I can see the back of it and I want both sides to have a bit of an angle. If you are making something which you're never going to see the back side of, or very rarely, or the back side doesn't matter, maybe a belt where the back side is against the body, there's no point casting, and you'll get a nicer stitch on the front if you don't cast. Strength aside, don't know what the answer to that is. And then the final thing I wanted to touch on is tapping your threads. Some people do it, some people don't. The majority of people that work in fine leather goods absolutely tap their threads, and the reason for this is twofold. One, if you tap your thread, it flattens them and gives it a much nicer appearance, in my opinion. And two, because when you are tapping your threads down, you're not just tapping the thread itself, flattening your round thread, making it flat and nice and pretty, you're also tapping the hole. And this, in my opinion, is actually more important, because if you're tapping the hole, you're giving it more time before that hole expands and opens and stuff goes into it. Because the thing about leather is, if you're not removing material, which punching and stitching hole is not removing material, it's cutting material, you can close it. And if you close it as much as possible, you're increasing the longevity of that stitch. So if you don't want to tap it because you don't like the looks of that, that's your prerogative. If you do want to tap it, you're gaining two benefits. You're gaining the benefit of closing the hole, and you're gaining the benefit of tapping the thread, making it look more pretty, more premium, and overall compressing that edge to make it look nicer. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really enjoy making these for you. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Most importantly, subscribe, because I can't make these videos without it. And I will see you next time. Have a phenomenal week. Take care.